It's Sunday, T-Rex. So what is you intrepid about? Let's do the triple hop. The one, the two, the three, and the... Yes! Not in a hurry Sunday is what we like to call it. He's right back because he smelled something right there. The storm clouds are gathering. Air is coming in from the east. I do have on my noise-canceling microphone. I don't have to yell. Not that cold, really, considering where we've been the last several days. It's 57.5 degrees here at 9:30 on Sunday, October 12th. Happy birthday, Big Brother Bob in Florida, where it's been amazingly wet this summer and relatively cold because of these high-pressure systems out of Canada. And this morning we have a new high-pressure system from Canada and a front that runs, from Europe to the United States and from South Carolina to south of Nantucket. There's another spoke of energy, and we are in it now. This is the beginning of wind from the east or northeast through probably Tuesday afternoon, so it is a 48-hour long duration event. People ask, hey, TK, what do you think's going to happen? Well, I think that my garden's going to take a beating and there will be many tomatoes on the ground. I don't know how many of them I'm going to pick, I think that the heat is going to come on inside the house. Temperature this week got down to 62. I'll tolerate that, but I will not tolerate a temperature in the 50s inside of my house, and that's where the air temperature is going to be. And I think that there will be boats on beaches. Moorings are going to give way, and there will be boats on beaches. Whether one of these makes it to our beach, you never know. But from probably just about Cape Ann to Cape Cod and Nantucket especially, Martha's Vineyard, Block Island, Long Island Sound especially down to New Jersey, there will be scenes of boats on beaches by Tuesday morning. Most of the boats at Wessagusset are nice and secure, and there's a nice breakwater right there. And you see all these moorings are empty. I don't know where you went, Yggdrasil. Did you go into Captain's Cove? So, well, the time is pretty much past for trying to get your boat out of the water. Still a little time today. The surprise of the day so far is how deep the central pressure is on the initial storm off of South Carolina. We don't know if there are going to be several low-pressure centers or a single low-pressure center, but 991 millibars with this swirl off of North Carolina, where yesterday the buoys off of North Carolina gusted 60 to 70 miles per hour. Now, if that low remains the primary low and it stays way to our south, we're not in that bad a shape. I want to go to the Ocean Prediction Center surface forecast map for today. Jerry was forecast to be a hurricane today, does not even exist anymore. It was sheared to pieces yesterday, and now OPC, Ocean Prediction Center, is calling it a gale, kind of doing the curl there east of Bermuda, but joining with a front that extends there, that old front from Europe to the United States, and then left of Gale, with former Jerry, you have the storm off of South Carolina and a warm front. It's an occluded low now off South Carolina, means it's mature and it should start weakening, and a new low should form on the warm front south of New England. And look at that 1033 millibar high pressure system over Quebec with a decaying cold front over southern New England. That is cool fuel for this sort of hybrid storm, a kind of a combination nor'easter subtropical system that looks like it is not going to get a name. If it does get a name, it's going to be at the last minute. It would be Subtropical Storm Lorenzo, maybe by Tuesday morning way out over the ocean. But it looks like it is not going to get a name from the Hurricane Center. The Hurricane Center, by the way, is watching something else way out there that we're not going to talk about too much. Lorenzo may form on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, stay there. But we're watching our side of the Atlantic Ocean. But also playing a role are these major storms in the western United States coming in off the Pacific Ocean. Flood watches in effect. Here's the National Advisories, watches, and warning. Flood watches in the southwest and Arizona for the remnant of tropical cyclones Priscilla and Raymond. You have almost an early season Arctic front in Montana, winter storm warnings, along with high wind warnings and winter storm warnings. What does that say? That says possible blizzard conditions in the mountains of Montana. And then you have a little gap in the middle of the nation where there's warmer air trying to come around that western storm. Now remember, the circulation around low pressure is counterclockwise. So if that western storm was the only game in town, the eastern United States will be getting flooded with warm air. However, we have this coastal storm and the circulation around that also counterclockwise, and that means our air comes from the north and east with this new, cool, high-pressure system over southeastern Canada, fueling the northern edge of any cyclogenesis that happens on the warm front to our south. Cyclogenesis means intensifying low pressure like a cyclone, and it's going to be a hybrid. And here's the surface regional roundup, very busy regional roundup, because I put the black numbers are the temperatures, the blue numbers are the dew points, and the red numbers are the wind gusts. And I think you want to look first at northern New Hampshire, where the temperature got down to, what was it, 29 or so at Whitefield, New Hampshire this morning, with a dew point of 25. That's very cool and dry air. And then as you move south, the dew point comes up into the 50s. You have wind gusts to the 40s, wind gusting 43 miles an hour south of Long Island at the buoy, about 50 miles south of Long Island this morning. And the wind is picking up in southern New England. And it's going to be these clash of air masses. Cold air is more dense and it lies at lower levels of the atmosphere. Warm air is lighter, less dense. It goes over the top of the cold. And with this storm forming out over the Gulf Stream, it's going to pump warm, almost tropical air into the cold air, and it's going to create the lift. The warmer air goes over the top of the cold. It's called overrunning. And the fact that the high pressure is so strong to the north, even though it's not a really deep low pressure system, and upper level flow also, at least up for the first 5,000 feet, is also going to come in from the east and northeast, and the pressure gradient is going to tighten up, and that's why we're going to have winds gusting past 50 miles an hour, especially south of Boston to Nantucket Sound, off and on, gusts past 50 miles an hour in pulses from late tonight through early Tuesday. That is your multi-day nor'easter. And I don't know how many maps I just showed in there. There's so much I want to talk about. After this storm goes by, I had to undo Steve. After this storm goes by, we're left with all those big storms coming across the country, and the Greenland block may not hold up. We'll talk about that later, but there are high stakes again next weekend. But why don't we start with this one? I'm not even going to show all. I am going to show it. I want to show the satellite imagery here of the East Coast because it's pretty telling. You got the swirl there off South Carolina. That is the old storm that almost should have been named Lorenzo, subtropical storm Lorenzo, in my opinion. And then you have the cloud extending up into the colder air, purely cold core system now developing south of New England with the cloud shield just up to about southern New Hampshire. But look at northern New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. Chris White, thank you for watching and commenting. Jennifer saying, we need the rain up here. It is so parched and it's so weird. Again, this is going to be, it's a beautiful day in northern New England. Foliage is fine right through tomorrow. Clouds will probably increase, but the rain is not going to make it up past Mount Mansfield, not going to make it up past Mount Washington. The northern edge is really a tough call. So yeah, I was just talking about the satellite imagery there, right? And even here, I can see some blue sky to the north of Boston, so the northern edge of the cloud. And it's almost 11 o'clock, and the rain is not here. So obviously, the first error we made was saying it was going to start raining by 11 o'clock. It looks like the northern edge of the rain is just up to about Nantucket at this time. So yeah, there's the radar. I guess we worked the radar in there. And that rain is a wall of water, and it's torrential downpours like a fire hose coming on the ocean there, just on the north side of the Gulf Stream, south of Nantucket. And that wall of water is going to come north, and I was not clear on what model I wanted to use. I think I'm going to go with the NAM, which we know often overdoes it, but even the HRRR and the global models are predicting 3 to 5 inches of rain in southeastern New England, 3 to 5. Yep. All right, so let's time it. Let's just show the QPF instead of trying to show all the rain bands and the radar, future radar, because the QPF is really telling how much rain, when it arrives. There it is, spreading to the north as a wall of water coming across Cape Cod midday and coming across up into the Boston area by about 3 or 4 o'clock. And you notice in western New England, not that much going on, but it does kind of fill in there. And then the northern edge, like we said yesterday, up to about Killington and not quite to Bar Harbor anymore. So it looks like a sharp cutoff with that very dry air in northern New England and closer to the center of the high, mostly missing this storm, the rain and the wind, not making it past the Mount Washington Valley. And this now goes out to 2 p.m., right? Tuesday, 2 p.m. And if we stop it there and you see any blue on the northern edge is a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, then it turns to purple, that's 1 to 2 inches, then it turns to red, that's 2 to 4 inches, and then we have some yellow, which is greater than 4 inches. And if we put the cursor over Eastham, Massachusetts, oh my, we are going to have some serious water on roads, flowing down cliffs, coastal erosion. Once you have those seas of 10 to 20 feet and storm force winds and that much rain, you have the drainage down the cliffs and you have the erosion, the waves beating the bottoms of the cliffs. This is going to be a major dune buster on the east side of Cape Cod and the east side of Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard. Any dunes in eastern Long Island. I don't know all the dunes in Long Island. We don't have dunes around here, but the water is going to come across the road over there in Hull with ocean water and rainwater. Just amazing. There should be almost a flood watch for the rains, but there's not. But clearly that's enough for flooding. And again, Cape Cod getting the most rain, very unusual. And the wind, let's go to the wind forecast. And with the wind, the way this works is the purple is about, these are wind gusts actually. I'm going to go with the wind gust forecast. Wind gusting past 20 miles an hour in the purple, and then wind gusting past 30 miles an hour as it tends to turn toward the red. And again, we got yellows and golds on this one south of Nantucket, or just about up to Nantucket. Those are winds gusting past 60 miles per hour in the yellow and the gold. Doug Kent asked me yesterday, what do you think is going to be the maximum wind gust at the South Shore Yacht Club in Weymouth and Hingham? And I said probably about 47 miles per hour. Well, it looks like this guidance agrees with me. 47 miles per hour there is a forecast wind gust. And now let's put this back into motion. That was in Hingham and Weymouth, and near Nantucket is closer to 60. And then those the northern edge of the wind only gets up into about central New England. And the high country inland, the hills, are going to be gusting 30 to 40. And the coastal area is still keeping on going. On Tuesday, this is Monday night, into Tuesday, we're still gusting 25 to 35 knots, even into Tuesday as the wind comes around from the north, and then finally lets up late Tuesday. So that covers our rain and our wind. And I had left the door open, so Mitt has joined us on Mitt's patio. I've lost Steve's line. Where did Steve go? We'll find him. I got to finish this forecast. Now, a lot of people might say, what if this was winter? Is this synoptic setup, would it be right for snow in southern New England? It would be close. The fact that there's such a big storm in the west probably would have us just warm enough that it would be marginally cold even in the middle of the winter for snow with this one. What are you doing, Mitt? This is an interlude, a break as we pass 14 minutes. We see Mitt and Steve. Hopefully it's not too far. Now, what else should we talk about? The surf is going to be 10 to 20 feet. Coastal flooding is looking minor for the most part. There's a website called the Northeast River Forecast Center, and they now do the ocean also. It's been combined. And you go to RFC on Google, and you'll find this image here, and it's very interactive. And anywhere in the orange squares, that's coastal flooding is possible, minor coastal flooding, and the red over Long Island is moderate coastal flooding. And then if you hold your cursor over any specific town, let's do Scituate, Massachusetts, and you go to Scituate, and the high tides at mostly 5 a.m. and 5 p.m., and then 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. as we go forward the next couple of days. It shows an 11.8 foot tide where flooding is 11.1 feet, so about a half a foot. I think that's probably underdone, so the Cole Parkway will be underwater at high tides and such, and the seas at that time are 10 to 20 feet just offshore, so major coastal erosion, even if there is no flooding. And you see the high tide cycle there. Fortunately, we're just past that king tide, but if it were last weekend, we'd be really in trouble. I'm really in trouble if I don't find Steve. Birds. I'll find him. Should we just go to the Euro now? It's having problems with next weekend. We're talking about that. Look at this wonderful alleyway right here. Steve, where'd you go? Come on. Time out. All right. So I had to look all over the place. Steve was in the front yard. That means somehow, even with that line attached to him, wasn't anchored. He went all the way around the neighbor's house, up in front yard, and came all the way around, and I had to come in through the breezeway. I just took attendance. Mitt is on a litter box. Rex is up at his breakfast bowl, and TK is back out in the backyard to wrap this up. How many minutes were we in there? Almost 20 already. Look at that wall of gray coming at us. It's a battle of the seasons. Almost late summer weather coming up from the Bahamas and almost early winter weather coming down from the North Pole. If it weren't for that storm in the west, we might be forecasting snow here this week. And one year ago today, I'm just thinking now, it had been snowing on Mount Washington for 3 days, October 8, 9, and 10. Then the snow level came down, and on the 12th and 13th, it started snowing at Jay Peak. And 1 year ago this week, we picked up 15 inches of snow between October 13 and 15. That's not happening this year. Sorry, Chris White. You're staying dry until probably about next weekend or so. So we go to next weekend using the global model called the ECMWF. And it's been having a really tough time. At one point, it had no rain for us this weekend, but obviously it does now. We're going to start it right here. This is the 5 a.m. map, and the old upper level low that came out of Toronto evolved into sort of a cold front, but you can still see it on there with those red circles. And then you have the surface low over South Carolina and the warm front extending up to near Nantucket. Those big storms out there in the west, winter storm warning Montana. Those lows out in the west, 990, that low South Carolina, 991. So powerhouse storms in the west and the east. So many moving parts. Make them move. Here we go. The high pressure to our north is slowly easing out, but the pressure gradient is tightening. There's our wind of 30 to 50 miles an hour from Cape Ann to New York City down to New Jersey for tonight, with the torrential downpours coming in, and tomorrow morning. That's probably the heart of the storm, and all-day wind and rain. Portsmouth, New Hampshire, Boston, Providence, New York City, Newark, New Jersey, all the way down to Atlantic City and Ocean City, Maryland. Low pressure to our south. Can't decide whether it wants to focus closer to Long Island or closer to South Carolina, North Carolina. Big evolution of what's going to happen with those lows to our south. Ultimately looking kind of warm core to me as it pulls out here to our south on Tuesday into Wednesday. The storms across the west have moved into Canada. There's a brief lull, but then there's going to be this backdoor front, and the ocean storm is just off the map, but you can make the isobars to the east, make out the isobars east of New England with the 540 line coming into New England, and ocean effect raindrops, not snowflakes, from the coast of Maine to Cape Cod, with real windy weather coming back Wednesday night and pretty much all day Thursday, as yet another storm is ramping up out in the west, trying to push warmer air in our direction. That low looks like it's going into the 980s. Very powerful storms with snow mostly just west of the Continental Divide and above 6,000 feet. And for us, here comes a high pressure system, but it's going to our south. Now, when high pressure systems go to your south, you try to get a return flow. Well, you do get a return flow from the west and southwest with a warm front going to our north next Saturday. What happened to the Greenland block? I got my doubts about the Greenland block now as low goes way to our north, and then a front powers through here. Look at that rain coming in next Sunday night and Monday. And I think I'm going to stop it at 2 a.m. on Monday with that front having gone just by. And the reason I stop it at 2 a.m. is because you can clearly see what's to our north. That is a central pressure of 980 millibars on a storm north of Maine. There's not that much cold available because it has been erased by all those storms in the west, but it's going to be pretty chilly and very windy with thunderstorms on Sunday night into early Monday having departed, and high pressure to our south would mean a rebound of warmth despite a negative North Atlantic oscillation. So there is a lot of incongruity in the teleconnection for next weekend, meaning very low confidence forecast. And I'm done with the weather for now. This is pretty interesting. Steve is looking down there. We met Kevin yesterday and Gigi. Kevin and Gigi in the out the door weather and more. Hey, Gigi. And he's waving. He's like, no, I don't need to be on the show. He loves it. Good morning. Making friends everywhere we go. So the and more. Should I go live on YouTube today? Well, I want to watch football and have a brunch, and it's not in a hurry Sunday. But maybe I'll go live for tomorrow, and we can have a long-form discussion. I don't know if I can go live and see myself and the maps at the same time. Did you notice how whichever side I'm on to try and get Steve's face, he turns the other way? Why is that, Steve? Look at him. I'm trying to get you in here so I can close and call it yesterday's weather today with your puss of a face, pussycat face, and he keeps turning the other way. Stop it. All right, yesterday's weather today is called the Enmore. Look at that cloud. Rain is imminent. All right, it's going to be raining here within about an hour or so. This is play-by-play on the nor'easter, and you can follow me on X. I'm trying to get into Instagram a little bit, and I did sign up for TikTok, which I totally don't understand. So look for my posts if you want to keep up and ask me any questions. And, of course, in the comment sections. Maybe we'll do a Q&A on the comment sections at some point in the next 24 hours. All right, batten down the hatches, stay safe, and here's a Enmore yesterday where we ended up on Cape Cod. The house was not winterized, but it was autumnized. The water was not turned off, but the furniture was brought in. Okay, to Cape Cod after a beautiful start here in Weymouth yesterday. Enmore, 15th. Pretty nice Saturday. This one's gorgeous. That September 6th was kind of rough, but I just cannot help but come out and start our Enmore early because Mitt is on Mitt's patio next to the cat Mint, and I put his chair there for Steve. He's just chilling. And the moon is still in the sky, and we get some moving parts to deal with to prep for the storm. We're on the go. I just heard a meow. I'm coming, Mitt. Interesting clouds there on the northern horizon. We have a little bit of a sea breeze front developing or something. Very little moving air. What is it, Mitt? Oh, you're wrapped around the rose. I gotcha. I gotcha, Mitt. Steve's just like out on the Serengeti. You're not that tangled. You know how to undo your collar? All right, you're free. But Mitt's never in a hurry. Steve, what do you say we go inside? Good things to do. Got to get on the road. Let's see if when I pull him off his anchor, if he'll walk with me. Come on, Steve. Steve, come. Guess not. I'm gonna groom my paw. Come on, Steve. Let's go. This way. Nope. Yep. Oops, sorry. This way. Let's go. There goes Mitt. We'll follow Mitt. Ready? Oh, he wants to go to Steve's rock. Okay. Mitt, go ahead. Do your best coon waddle up the stairs. Go ahead. Come on. We want to see it. No? I know. Who wants to leave? All right. I wanted to talk about this anyway. This path here. So in the spring, well, actually in July, I pruned the montaukes almost to the bone so that there'd be a walkway here, and if you prune them nice enough, they'll stand up instead of fall down this time of year. Wow, busy bees. Look at the size of that one. So anyhow, my walkway is just as wide as my shoulders between the tomatoes on the right and the euonymus. So right here, tomato buds and montaukes in the calm before the storm, and I cleaned up this area yesterday. And this is probably the last of the beautiful autumn garden with this storm incoming. Oh, it's going to be sad. Do some harvesting tomorrow morning, hopefully before the rain. Beautiful sunflower seeds right there. Usually the squirrels get them, but knock on wood. So far, no squirrels. Oh my goodness. Just glorious. beauty and the beast. The beast is not here yet. 12:30. Clouds are thickening back up. Haven't moved much. So there's the system from Canada and the system from Florida, and it looks like there's a new cloud kind of forming as the two are about to merge. The dynamics of an evolving nor'easter. Always a lot of moving parts. It's never just a simple solution. What's your name? Where are you from? Lemon? Lemon? Ah, you got me. I got blood on that one. Like a fish hook. Get diverted through Quincy on the way south. There's a marsh flooding high tide. Fortunately, the height of the water is going to be coming down a little as the storm comes in. Get that going for us. And this fickle sky, wind is increasing. Two storms are merging, the one from the west and the one from the south. Game on. State of the foliage. Route 3 south. Foliage isn't too bad. You don't have to travel through New England. If you live in New England, just wait. It'll come to your backyard. How about this with the sun on it right here? On this fickle Saturday, sun cloud, sun cloud. 64 on the dashboard thermometer here at 3:30. I think you know where we're going. Yeah, the Sagamore Bridge. This is just amazing, you know. I grew up here, right? Cape Cod. But I never remember a summer where when it rained, there was more rain on Cape Cod than north and west of Boston. And then when the sun is out, it's only out on Cape Cod. It's cloudy everywhere else. Not exactly cloudy everywhere else, but... And here's the most sunshine. So it gets the most rain and the most sunshine. 15th nice consecutive Saturday, going back beginning on July 5th. Look at this, on the south side of the Sagamore Bridge, the edge of the cloud. Cool. We don't call it Bass River Beauty for nothing. That's what we call it, though. Got our ornamental grasses. Got our sun hanging low in the sky, as you'll see in the time lapse in a few minutes. And we lose the sun on the Weymouth, but we gain the sun on the Dennis. Time lapse, that is. Collins Pond on Bass River. Let's put the porch furniture inside or somewhere, secure it. A lot of people have people for that. Well, I am the people for that. This actually is in the lee of the northeast wind, but better safe than sorry. And these geraniums spend the winter indoors, and then they still look good again next spring. How's our water bucket doing? This will become an ice bucket down here, 2 inches of water. And the thermometer in the shade, I mean in the sun, 82. Yeah, in the shade it's more like 63. This would have been a good time to do some overseeding, but I didn't leave myself enough time or nor to work in that worm farm. We haven't had a Scott sighting on this and more in a while. Where are you, Scott? There he is. The mower man with the biggest mower, the greenest grass, and the nicest administrator. Come on over, do this one too. But I know I get some clippings. Over here. Thank you. Worm Farm Nourishment. And Kim. Summer plants are indoors. Don't expect the basil to survive, but I do expect the geraniums to survive. And the aloe, and maybe we'll root a few of those leggy geraniums. What's that? It's cool looking glass, isn't it? Go to these thrift shops around here. And T-Rex and I will be coming out this door for the holidays and for the winter. And it was kind of an act of futility sweeping it off because it's going to be rain and acorns and branches and sticks. And what's the ladder for? Well, that ladder is so I can try and hose off the cobwebs on this web camera. So see if you can see the web camera have water hitting it at 5:45, just before the sun went down on this time lapse, which I'm showing now. Oh yeah. Did I mention? These things are really heavy. Really heavy. Probably one of the last years I can move them by myself. And I can't, look at that bud. I just can't let him go. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, and so all those acorns and branches up there are gonna get a huge rattling. And now the time lapse from Weymouth, where you can just barely see the sun as it goes down there over the neighbor's house and behind that big invasive Norway maple. And the clouds coming and going. What a fickle day in Weymouth. It was cloudy, and then it was sunny, and then it was cloudy, and then it was partly sunny, as the ocean system is reaching up towards the swirl that is the upper level low coming across New York and Pennsylvania. And it looks like we are ripe for some sundogs this evening. And so now, not chasing the storm, weather's chasing me. I don't have to go far. Hope everyone's having a not in a hurry Sunday. Are the Patriots in Foxborough? That could be a damp one. All right. Appreciate your viewership. Happy Nor'easter. Talk to you tomorrow. Back to work Monday. Oh no, it's not back to work Monday. It's Columbus Day. Sorry.